Now, I'd like to invite Cardinal Cormac Murphy O'Connor.
Ladies and gentlemen, like everyone else, I'm delighted to be here tonight. And I might say I'm delighted to be here as Archbishop of Westminster because, as Mr. Versey said, I'm anxiously waiting my successor, who's going to be appointed very shortly. And I think this is the last official function that I'll be at before my successor is appointed. I'm rather glad, really, because I think I'm beginning to lose it a bit. I was at a very big function the other day, and I began by saying, when I was installed as Archbishop of Canterbury, I didn't mean to say that, but it caused a certain amount of amusement. But one of the reasons that I'm delighted to be here tonight is because I see here in the many people who are nominated for awards, but also how many other people in the Muslim community and other communities are striving to build hope in our country, communities of hope. I'm delighted also because I think these occasions provide opportunities for us to meet, and in the three great monotheistic religions, hospitality, friendship are hugely important. I have found in my life, particularly as a bishop, in meeting people of other faiths, and fellow Christians, that friendship is the beginning. And when you become friends, then you begin to speak, and speak from the heart, and speak lovingly and truthfully, without denying your own identity, but somehow coming closer. And that's what dialogue is about. Many pundits give the impression that our society is fragmented into groups that would like to isolate themselves into cozy comfort zones, or groups for whom people with other opinions or beliefs are a threat. I could never subscribe to such a pessimistic view of society. But I have to admit, I am very concerned about the way some individuals and groups speak about others. And I've always tried to get people to speak to each other rather than about each other. It is so easy to go through life without realizing that what we think about people who are different for us is little better than a caricature. But when I look at all the individuals and groups nominated for awards here today, I'm sure I'm among people who want to challenge our own and other people's natural inclination to think and speak in cliches and sound bites. I was very pleased that Mr. Versey, the editor of the Muslim News, wrote recently that this evening's ceremony has provided a steady stream of good news, repudiating stereotypes. And he said that this ceremony proclaims not just good stories, but excellent ones. So I'm delighted that you said that. The problem with good news is it's pushed to the bottom of the pile. It's the bad news gets the news, which I think is very unfortunate. It's only when we build up mutual respect and trust that we can talk seriously about dialogue, which is clearly vitally important today, particularly if we're to avoid the stereotypes and cliches that can do so much damage. There are some people who've gone off the notion of dialogue, and I've tried to work out why that is. It may be that sometimes dialogue has simply been a fashionable buzzword, and there's not been much substance to the dialogue in question. A few people have admitted that they feel a bit threatened by dialogue, which they think is compromise that would put their identity at risk. But I think that genuine dialogue is often very valuable and should never be a threat to anyone. And just to give you two reflections on the characteristics of true dialogue. First of all, we should work on the values that we share. The human mind is excellent at making distinctions, but it is quite natural to focus on the differences between ourselves and people around us. And these differences loom larger when it is a matter of people of other cultures and other religions. I couldn't help noticing that the annual message from the Holy See to Muslims at the end of Ramadan last year welcomed the opportunity to reflect together on a mutually topical subject which will enrich our exchange and help us to get to know each other better in our shared values as well as our differences. The topic proposed for reflection between Christians and Muslims was the family, crucial aspect of our culture, our society, for which we have so much to learn from each other and to benefit from each other. Secondly, it seems to me we should create an atmosphere where everyone involved in our conversations can speak freely. In other words, we must never compromise our understanding of what is true. The very notion of truth is problematic in Western culture. And what I mean is that people involved in dialogue should never feel muzzled in any way. And here, let me praise those sections of the press and media who work so hard to present every aspect of a situation. Your jobs are not easy, but never lose sight of the fact that when you do it well, the silent majority of ordinary, decent citizens is very much in your debt. Now, I must end these few words. Can I just say also that an important part of dialogue and friendship and openness is humor. To be able to laugh. Of course, there are limits. So I'll end by describing an archbishop who went to a church. And when he went in, he saw there were very few people, not like here, very few people there. So he said to the parish priest, "Father, there are very few people," he's really angry, "here tonight. Didn't you tell them that the archbishop was coming?" And the parish priest said, "No, Archbishop, but the news must have leaked out somehow." Well, I don't know. Whatever news has leaked out tonight, I just want to say to you all how really delighted I am to be here. My congratulations to all those who won awards. But above all, I think why I'm so glad is that, again, it's an expression of friendship, of openness, of a real sense of belonging together, a kind of community that is engendered by this wonderful function tonight. Thank you very much.
May I please invite our guest of honour, His Eminence Cardinal Cormac Murphy O'Connor, to present our next award, which is the Alhambra Award for Excellence in Arts.
And the winner of the Alhambra Award for Excellence in the Arts is Ahmed Mukhtar.
Born in Baghdad, Ahmed is a world-acclaimed composer and master oud player. He's been playing the oud since 1979, which he studied under the masters Ghanim Haddad and Jamil Jarjis. Since 1990, he has been performing, teaching and touring throughout the Middle East and Europe, and has written music for theatre, film and television. The United Nations chose Ahmed and 16 other musicians from all over the world to release a CD for the benefit of victims of terrorism and wars.
Thank you very much for everybody. I'm delighted as well. I think I granted this award for all of the Iraqi people and all of the musicians there, especially when they are passing very difficult time nowadays. Thank you very much. In very difficult times nowadays, especially in Europe and other places, we need to work and to show the beautiful and merciful face of the Islams and Muslims. That's why we need to work a lot, and I think there is a lot of people and they are worth to show them our feeling and our merciful and our principles of our religious and our culture.